Ever felt like market सिर्फ तुम्हारा stop loss देख के reverse हो जाता है? Don't worry, you are not cursed. You have just been hunted, stop loss hunted. Retailers enter the market like buy low, sell high. But smart money is like buy where they panic, sell where they get greedy. Welcome to the world of liquidity grabs, stop loss hunting, and fair value gaps. ये सब होता है, but you won't find it in your basic YouTube jadoo strategy. In today's episode, we will expose how the weak players trap mango people, exactly where they do it, and how to use these traps to your advantage. After all this, you won't be the hunted, you will be the hunter. So buckle up, mango traders. It's time to trade like the smart money and not become their breakfast. Presentation time. Okay, so today we are discussing a very important concept that every trader must know. How do you understand and protect yourself against smart money moves? So let's start by understanding what is smart money. So all the big institutions who are trading in the market along with you, they are called smart money. Why? Because first of all, they have a lot of money and they actually have the power to move the price in the market, which you or me, aam aadmi, cannot do that anyways. And then they have the best algorithms in place. They have the best brains in the country trading for them. So they have also access to all sort of information which the common retailer doesn't have, and hence they're called smart money. While understanding price movement is very essential for successful trading, but you must know a few concepts which smart money basically conducts in the market. Okay, so we will cover 3 such concepts today: liquidity grab, another related concept which is stop loss hunting, and finally fair value gaps. And these moves are basically used by the smart money to slightly manipulate the market or bring more traders or more liquidity in the market and then take the money from them. Okay. These concepts are very, very important. It basically helps the traders to understand institutional behavior. It also helps you to avoid common retail traps which are set up by smart money. It basically enhances your technical analysis and also helps you to enter the trade with a lot of precision. And आपका जो market psychology है, the way you think about the market is improved significantly. But when I say smart money manipulates the market, all the concepts that we have learned till now, which is basically support and resistance, how to look at price trend, the way orders are placed in the market, all these are still true. But you just need to understand and identify certain moves in the market when the price demonstrates certain behavior. तब आपको थोड़ा सा सतर्क हो जाना है, तब आपको थोड़ा सा cautious हो जाना है. Okay, so let's dive into the topic. The first one that we are discussing is liquidity grab. अभी पहले liquidity क्या है? Liquidity basically is the number of participants who are willing to participate in the market at any given point of time. Okay, अभी सारे participants कुछ clues का wait कर रहे होते हैं जब जैसा signal market में देखेंगे in terms of price either let's say breaking the resistance or breaking down from a support or technical indicators are saying something. So based on all these signals, the traders basically enter the market. Now, if smart money wants to move in a particular direction, for example, market को ऊपर लेके जाना है, okay, बैंक निफ्टी को ऊपर लेके जाना है या फिर कोई भी स्टॉक को ऊपर लेके जाना है, तो पहले इनको तो बहुत ज्यादा वॉल्यूम में बाई करना पड़ेगा, करेक्ट? एंड द सेम द रिवर्स इज आल्सो ट्रू. अगर मार्केट को नीचे लेके जाना है तब इनको बहुत ज्यादा वॉल्यूम में सेल करना पड़ेगा. तो हर ट्रांजैक्शन में, फॉर एवरी ट्रांजैक्शन यू नीड अ ऑपोजिट पार्टी, करेक्ट? समबडी हैज टू सेल व्हेन यू नीड टू बाय एंड समबडी हैज टू बाय व्हेन यू नीड टू सेल. सो ये लिक्विडिटी मार्केट में रेडीमेड अवेलेबल नहीं होता है. ये लिक्विडिटी जनरली कोई स्पेसिफिक जोन्स में अवेलेबल होता है, व्हिच इज बेसिकली लेट्स से जस्ट अबव अ सपोर्ट और जस्ट बिलो अ सपोर्ट और अबव अ रेजिस्टेंस और बिलो अ रेजिस्टेंस. तो स्मार्ट मनी क्या करता है? They have data and understanding on where exactly all the orders are placed, maybe entry orders or stop loss orders. तो स्मार्ट मनी क्या करेगा? प्राइस को उस जोन पे लेके जाएगा just to trigger all these orders Once these orders are triggered, they will take the price in the reverse direction because they have the power, the money, and the intelligence to do that. So as soon as they do that, the opposite party starts losing money heavily, right? So let's understand how from this chart, what is happening here. So you can see this particular line is a resistance line. Right? अभी प्राइस यहाँ पे बार बार यहाँ पे रेजिस्टेंस ले रहा है 1 टाइम 2 टाइम 3 टाइम, इस रेजिस्टेंस लाइन को ब्रेक नहीं कर पा रहा है. तो अभी क्या होगा, इस रेजिस्टेंस लाइंस के ऊपर इधर इस जोन में बहुत सारे ऑर्डर्स प्लेस्ड होंगे इधर, और there might be a lot of market participants who want to enter as soon as price crosses this resistance line. ये orders दो तरीके का हो सकता है. एक तो people who will want to buy because there is a breakout of this resistance. अगर price ऐसा resistance तोड़ के ऊपर जाता है, people want to buy because there is a breakout. Or else people who have sold here at this points, people who have sold here, their stop losses will be somewhere here, right? They have sold here, so their stop loss will be somewhere here. जब price जैसे ऐसा जाएगा, it will trigger both type of orders or bring both type of participants into the market. Basically, जिनका stop loss hit हो जाएगा किसी का, और बाकियों का ट्रेड में एंट्री हो जाएगा ऑन द बाय साइड. उसके बाद क्या होगा, इधर आप देखिए ये लिक्विडिटी ग्रैब चल रहा है इधर पे. ये प्राइस एक स्पाइक से रेजिस्टेंस लाइन को ब्रेक करता है, स्टॉप लॉस ट्रिगर कर देता है, या फिर बाय साइड ऑर्डर में भी ऑर्डर्स ट्रिगर कर देता है. इमीडिएटली आफ्टर दैट प्राइस रिवर्सेस एंड देन प्राइस गोज डाउन वेरी फास्ट. Okay, so it's a typical smart money movement. Just to explain once again, let's say at a support line what is happening, price is taking resistance multiple times, price को जाना नीचे ही है, तो वो क्या करेगा, ऊपर एक छोटा सा ब्रेकआउट देगा, ये स्टॉप लॉस ट्रिगर करेगा, बाकी प्लेयर्स एंटर हो जाएंगे, फिर प्राइस विल गो डाउन रैपिडली. So basically how to identify this, as soon as you see that there is a spike in price but the candle didn't close above the resistance line, that is your indication that this was just the liquidity grab, and you can take a trade in the opposite direction and keep the stop loss above the peak of this price breakout. The same thing can happen at a support level as well. Price can be doing this and price needs to go up, but it will go down and break this support level. क्या होगा, इधर पे जो भी बायर्स थे इनका स्टॉप लॉस ट्रिगर हो जाएगा, और जो भी सेलर्स थे उनका एंट्री ऑर्डर्स ट्रिगर हो जाएंगे. उसके बाद मार्केट विल गो अप वेरी वेरी फास्ट. So both ways liquidity grab can happen, so be very very careful. And how do you avoid this trap? Do not enter on breakout, enter on retracement. Means प्राइस ऐसा ऊपर अगर चला जाता है इमीडिएटली आपको एंटर नहीं करना है. अगर एक प्रॉपर ब्रेकआउट है तो इसमें रिट्रेसमेंट होगा, प्राइस ऐसा ऊपर जाएगा, ऐसा रिट्रेस करके फिर ऊपर जाएगा, एंड योर एंट्री पॉइंट विल बी समवेयर हियर. सेम फॉर योर सेल साइड ट्रेड्स. अगर प्राइस ऐसा ब्रेकआउट दे देता है, आपको तुरंत एंट्री नहीं करना है, यू विल हैव टू वेट फॉर द रिट्रेसमेंट. जब रिट्रेस करके प्राइस फिर वापस नीचे जाएगा, इस जोन पे आप एंटर कर सकते हो. एंड इफ यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड अ लिक्विडिटी ग्रैब, okay, for example you see a price movement like this at a resistance point, प्राइस थोड़ा सा ऊपर जाके नीचे जा रहा है, इस लेवल पे आप ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में ट्रेड ले सकते हो. आपका स्टॉप लॉस इधर होगा. आई ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन दैट एज वेल. ओके, लेट्स मूव टू स्टॉप लॉस हंटिंग. स्टॉप लॉस हंटिंग इज ऑफ कोर्स very similar to what we already discussed, liquidity grab. Let us just understand what it is. So price will be pushed to a common zone where a lot of stop losses are available, and then they will trigger all these orders, and then price will move in the opposite direction, which basically creates liquidity in the market, which brings a lot of participants in the market once a resistance or a support zone is broken, and that basically gives the opportunity to the institutional traders to fulfill their orders in the market and then take the market in the direction that they wanted to go initially. Okay, so basically you are looking for quick wicks or spikes on the chart around the key levels. फिर से एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. ऐसे में कॉन्सेप्ट बहुत सिमिलर है लिक्विडिटी ग्रैब के जैसा. For example, market को ऊपर ही जाना है, institution wants to go upwards, but for that they want a lot of volume, right? They want to first buy a lot of volume before they go up. अभी lot of volume कहाँ available होगा? Let's say this is a support zone, ऐसा ऐसा कर रहा है price, ये support ले रहा है इधर पे, so इधर पे बहुत सारे लोग buy कर रहे होंगे because there is a support zone, correct? Because they are thinking market will go up. Market will actually go up, but first market will break the support with one candle. And as soon as it does that, it basically triggers the stop losses of all the buyers who are trying to buy here. Candle close hoga nahi. Let's say we are talking about, let's say, intraday trading. So we are talking about let's say 5-minute candle. ये 5-minute candle इधर close होगा नहीं. ये spike से सारे stop losses trigger करेगा. उसके बाद price सीधा ऊपर चला जाएगा और आप देखते रह जाओगे उसको. Okay. So what caution do you need to take when you are want to avoid stop loss hunting? So basically what you need to do is let's say this is a support line and you want to buy here because you know this is a support line and you are expecting the price to move up. आपको अपना stop loss immediately below the सपोर्ट नहीं रखना है, आपको थोड़ा सा नीचे रखना है सो दैट अगर ये स्टॉप लॉस हंटिंग होता भी है वो स्टॉप लॉस अगर ट्रिगर ना हो एंड उसके बाद प्राइस ऊपर जा सकता है. हाउएवर इफ यू सी दैट योर स्टॉप लॉस इज हियर, प्राइस ऐसा ब्रेक करके नीचे आया फिर रिट्रेस करके फिर नीचे की तरफ आने का कोशिश कर रहा है, तो लेट योर स्टॉप लॉस गेट हिट बिकॉज देन देयर इज अ प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट प्राइस विल एक्चुअली मूव डाउन. Don't move your stop loss more down just to avoid stop loss hit because probably in this particular case price is going to go down only and you will make a bigger loss if you are moving your stop loss further down. So be very, very careful. Okay, the next concept that we will learn today is about fair value gaps. So what is a fair value gap? Let us understand. A fair value gap is basically an imbalance in price movement where one side is dominating, either the buyer side or the seller side, and appears as a candle gap between the wicks of two consecutive candles. So ये थोड़ा सा diagram से समझना ज़्यादा आसान होगा. So let's say bullish fair value gap is an example. एक छोटा सा कैंडल इधर बनाए फिर उसके बाद प्राइस बहुत फास्ट अप मूव दिया है. यहाँ पे आप देखिए बहुत फास्ट अप मूव दिया है, रुका ही नहीं. उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट कैंडल है उसके ऊपर चला गया, उसका क्लोज उसका हाई सारे ये कैंडल के ऊपर ही है. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि ये जो जोन बन रहा है विच इज बेसिकली द लो ऑफ द थर्ड कैंडल एंड द हाई ऑफ द फर्स्ट कैंडल, ये जो जोन बन रहा है इधर ज्यादा ट्रेडिंग नहीं हुआ है. इधर से प्राइस हैज मूव्ड सो फास्ट दैट नॉट मेनी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैव बीन एबल टू पार्टिसिपेट इन द मार्केट इन अ proper fashion. So what will happen specifically? Let's say it's a bullish fair value gap and buyers are active here. Buyers want more volume. Okay. So what will happen? Price will have a tendency, even after going up, go down to this level. And after filling the orders which were not filled earlier, then price can take an upward movement. Okay. So अभी क्या होगा, रिटेलर्स क्या सोचते हैं कि प्राइस ऐसा ऊपर भाग गया तो इधर रिटेलर्स का फोमो हो जाएगा, दे विल एंटर एट दिस पॉइंट. उसके बाद जैसे प्राइस नीचे आएगा ये लोग इधर स्टॉप लॉस हिट हो जाएगा या फिर डर के मारे निकल जाएंगे. आपको एंटर ये कैंडल के ऊपर नहीं करना है बिकॉज आपको क्लियरली यहाँ पे फेयर वैल्यू गैप दिख रहा है. यू विल हैव टू वेट फॉर द प्राइस टू कम डाउन टू दिस जोन बिफोर यू एंटर. The same concept is applicable for a bearish fair value gap. So the fair value gap here is the gap between the low of this candle and the high of the third candle. This is the gap. So अगर price को नीचे जाना है because not a lot of sell orders were not fulfilled. So price will want to come back to this level and then go back. Now the middle of this zone, which are marked with this straight line, is known as encroachment level. So you will, if you are a safe trader and you want a very good entry, then ideally you will wait for the price to come down to the encroachment level before you take the trade. If it is a bullish FVG and if you're taking a bearish trade, then you want the price to go up to at least the encroachment level before you take a trade. Okay. Sometimes, of course, the price will try to trap you again. It will cross the encroachment level and then again come back. It can happen on both sides. It will be equivalent to a liquidity trap. But आपको थोड़ा सा इधर वेट एंड वॉच करना है. आपको देखना है प्राइस कैसे बिहेव कर रहा है अराउंड दिस एनक्रोचमेंट लेवल. अगर आपको दिख रहा है ये क्रॉस किया, यहाँ पे लिक्विडिटी स्वैप हुआ वापस एंड देन इट इज कमिंग बैक, दैट इज अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग साइन टू सिट ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर चेयर. Okay, let's say what is happening here. For example, let's understand from a real chart. You can see price is having a strong up movement, and these three candles were very strong green candles, and price didn't really stop anywhere here. And you can clearly see, specifically for this candle, there is a clear fair value gap which is formed. Okay, because price didn't stop here. So you can expect the price to come back to this zone. Probably this was the encroachment level. It crossed the encroachment level, took the liquidity from here, and as soon as you see that price is making an up move from this zone, your entry can somewhere be here. Okay, and then of course you will have to depend on technical indicators and resistance, support levels, etc. to understand up to what target you can wait in that particular trade. Okay, so fair value gaps are of two types. We already discussed them, but let us understand their full names. This one, which is bullish, is known as a BC, which is buy side imbalance and sell side inefficiency. The same thing which is happening on a selling side, and there is a strong selling candle with a fair value gap, that is known as a CB, SIBI, sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. Okay, we have already understood in details how fair value gaps are formed, and these are basically the nomenclatures. And let us then understand why these gaps are very important for your trading purpose. First of all, these BC and CB zones are institutional footprints. They're telling you that somebody very powerful is driving the price either upwards or downwards, and that powerful person is not a retailer, because मैं और या फिर आपके बस की बात ये है नहीं. We cannot even move the price of any share by 10 paisa with the money that we have. So basically it is institutions who are driving that sort of price movement. And if you are utilizing multiple things like market structure, support and resistance, and liquidity swap as well, as I explained when I talked about the encroachment area price behavior, then a fair value gap can be implemented in your trading strategy to take better decisions and to sit on highly attractive trades. And of course, this is a smart money footprint. So retailers, as soon as you can spot a fair value gap on the chart, it is just be careful and wait for price to reverse back into the fair value gap before you take any decision on trading. Another important concept that we must learn is an inversion of FVG, which basically means that FVG has failed. When will an FVG fail, and what is the implication of an FVG failing? So let's say and inversed FVG acts in the opposite direction. Okay, so let's say what is a bullish IFVG, bullish inversion of FVG. So you can clearly see here, for a bullish FVG, price has to be first in a downtrend, and its downtrend may there should be a fair value gap which is forming. Now you can anyways expect the price to come back to the fair value zone around the encroachment area, which should be somewhere around here. But in this particular case, price after coming back to here didn't turn back, rather it continued in the same direction. So now this fair value gap is no more bearish in nature. It has now converted into a bullish IFVG. Now you can actually expect the price probably to come back down to this level again and then take a big up move. So in this particular case, the IFVG has reversed and this bearish movement has now been converted into a bullish IFVG and price takes movement accordingly. The same case, the opposite case basically is applicable for bearish IFVG. In this particular case, price have to be in an uptrend first, and uske baad, of course, you are expecting price to come down back to the IFVG, to the fair value gap and take support here, but price doesn't take support, price breaks down below this, and now this fair value zone, this fair value gap, no longer is acting as a bearish, as a bullish fair value gap. It has now reversed and now it is a bearish fair value gap. Okay, so now you understand. So fair value gap, the price should take support within the gap if it is a bullish one and then move upwards. But if it doesn't take support and breaks it and goes downward, then it reverses its nature and it becomes a opposite in nature basically. So for a bullish movement, it becomes bearish. For a bearish movement, it becomes bullish. Very similar to our concept of support and resistance, correct? So when price breaks support, that level then becomes a resistance. And when price breaks resistance, that level going forward becomes a support zone. So the same concept is applicable here as well, how a fair value gap can get reversed. Okay, now before we end, we have to understand a few more nuances about fair value gap. Please always remember fair value gap is valid only for one time. So let's say you are tracking this BC and price is moving upwards and you see a fair value gap and you are expecting price to basically come down here and then take an up move, which is a fair assumption. However, this is applicable only one time. If price goes back into this fair value zone, you will not take the same decision because now the concept of fair value gap has been invalidated. So you will basically not at least use the concept of fair value gap for taking the next trade. The same is applicable for a sell side trade as well. Time frames also are very, very crucial. Longer the time frame, higher is the probability of that fair value gap giving you a better price movement. Okay, so let's say compared to a 1 minute chart, a 1 hour chart will be much more dependable. Compared to 1 hour chart, let's say a daily chart or a weekly chart might be much more dependable in terms of identifying fair value gap and then taking trading decisions based on the fair value gap. Okay. So of course, and if you are a day trader, you are probably looking at 5 minute charts and hourly charts. And if you are a long time trader, you can probably look at hourly charts, weekly charts, daily charts, and stuff like that. Okay, to identify fair value gaps on those charts. Do not take trade only based on fair value gap. You must include all your other concepts like support and resistance, then your technical indicators, etc., to ensure that you are taking the right decision. And then incorporate fair value gap as an important concept into a trading strategy to ensure that you are making much more out of the market by spotting the right smart money movement in time. That's all for today. Thank you very much.